Welcome to episode 467 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
How you going, fellas?
Fantastic.
It's another glorious week.
I wonder, are we going to save the Origin stuff until Wednesday, or is it because it's super timely now we talk about it tonight? I don't know.
Let's keep the format. We'll do the news on Wednesday.
All
right. Pray that, maybe someone assassinates Brad Fittler in the meantime.
Wow.
Okay, spoiler, we know how you feel. Oh, great. Okay, so we know what Jay's going to say.
Someone can go and plug up Mrs. Saifidi's vag so she doesn't put any more plotters in the side.
Cause any more mischief.
That seems to be the selection criteria.
Well, that's okay. So that's I know the two positions that he's not happy with, but we'll get to that on Wednesday, I suppose.
Yes.
So other than that, you're all right there, mate.
Oh,
other than Brad Fittler,
I tell you, couldn't be happier. Fucking great.
Wonderful. How you going, Glennie? I mean, I feel like I just spoke to you because we were on the phone, we're on the video chat doing the game on Saturday afternoon, early evening.
I'm so sorry I missed that. How was it?
The game was fucking shit, but
the game was terrible.
The episode was fucking delightful.
Oh yeah, we had a great chat. It was amazing.
I just remember it wasn't all that long ago, only a fucking year or so ago, where I'd be able to sit at home and just wallow in the Tigers' fucking shit performance. But now I get to fucking talk to Nate. Takes my mind off it. Didn't bring it up once.
Well, that's it. We were just enjoying the game of footy and having a chat, and it wasn't. It may as well not have been the Tigers playing. Yeah. Could have been just two neutrals playing.
That's it. It was as sad as it was far less stressful than if I had just been taking in the whole game and just watching it and nothing else.
Yeah, I would imagine
distraction, Nathan.
I would imagine that also that when it sort of became a foregone conclusion with probably a good 20 to go, I reckon. So at that point, we were just settled in for the chat anyway. And it was like, oh yeah,
fuck this shit.
Like there wasn't any tension like the way that these Tigers membersode started off.
Yeah, that's
where we're getting these epic field goal fucking last minute victories.
Feels
and
like
shit,
so long ago.
It does. And more news on that, I suppose, on Wednesday as well, because I saw some headlines. I didn't read them, but I'm seeing things, Lenny.
Look, I'm cynical now. I'm
so
fucking cynical. Well, look, okay. After the media came out and basically admitted articles slandering the West Tigers generate clicks.
It's not new information.
Because the media, for all of their faults, they've figured out that the West Tigers fans are a bunch of fucking rage-fueled fuckheads.
Hey.
Who will read something just to fucking defend that dumpster fire.
They're rage-filled, passionate and loyal humans who will rush in and defend their club against
I don't do any
staff
of that.
writers.
I don't even read it.
But everyone else just enjoys the fucking chaos. So, they've had a couple of wins. The stories were inevitable. And, fuck it. This may be the time. Maybe the time he goes, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like there was how many losses in a row was it? It was the worst start of the season. Was it 5?
Yeah.
Was it 6 when you had? Yeah. And then since then, then they put a couple of wins together and started looking good, and then they've put a couple of losses together now on the back of that. But they still look better than they were back at the 0-5 level. Yeah. But now the bell's ringing louder. It's just. It's all very strange, but I promise I'll read that article before Wednesday. And if it has any tangible, concrete information, then perhaps we'll chat about it. We'll chat about it then. Onto the games, because a quick express episode is always a good one. Round 12, the round that just was Thursday night. Oh, this was this week, was it? These Thursday night games really fuck me over because they feel so long ago.
It's worse when we do back-to-back on a Wednesday. It feels like a million years ago.
Yeah. No,
Well, that's
I
the whole
agree.
reason we started.
Yeah,
exactly.
We had a great rationale for ourselves there. Like, if we do them on Sunday night, it's just the last game of the round's just finished, like 2 hours before or something.
I think
So,
I broke a
it's
personal record, though. The reason I couldn't do Sunday, I broke a personal record of the amount of time spent in my fucking lawn, doing my lawn in one weekend.
This last weekend?
Yeah, this weekend just gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I spent
Fucking ridiculous.
I spent 2 or 3 hours. I had to knock it down with the whippersnipper first, and then I had to go give it the once. Oh, my lawnmower got wet in the rain. Didn't realise it was sort of just whatever the direction it came in. Just happened to get in where I tuck it away, and so it wouldn't start. So I'm fucking on YouTube watching video of just how to disassemble the whole fucking thing, just so that I can dry things out and check if the carburetor's fucked. And so I became quite the lawnmower mechanic over last week, and got in there, fixed that, got it running, knocked it all down at the top setting, and then tomorrow, if it doesn't rain again tomorrow, then I'll knock it back a couple of notches down, and then maybe on the weekend I'll go again, and then we'll be back to
sum total
back on
from
top.
Friday after work when I got home, Friday night until I finished at 6:30 on Sunday night.
Yep.
14 hours.
Yeah, it's quite excessive. I mean, I probably spent that much time like on YouTube. And fucking
14 hours.
Stuff and
14 hours. Mowing,
And you've got
whippersnipping, spraying weeds, going to the tip, unloading fucking wheelie bins full of grass. 14 hours.
I just want to say, see, this what you got to do. You got to knock it down, then you get it on the, then you get the mulcher on, and just.
It was too much. It was too much grass because I haven't mowed in because of the weather. Haven't mowed in probably 6 weeks.
Yeah,
it was up past my knees. I know I'm only short.
When you say mow though, too, we just need to be very clear. You're talking about you're on a ride on mower. You're not actually like
mower, lawn digger.
You're like a little kid in his fucking little Wiggles big red car.
You're in a noisy couch.
He's like a little kid in one of those little like Wiggles cars, like battery operated Wiggles cars.
Me in the gills.
That's about as much.
A noisy couch.
That's about as much work as you're doing. So
fuck you. Anyway, you come and mow my lawn then, bitch.
Okay, last thing before we move on. Do you have for your ride on mower?
Noisy couch.
I don't know anything about ride on mowers. Never had one. Never been on one. I know nothing about them other than just to look at them. Now,
it's a lawn digger, mate.
Is there a market for accessories where you've got like a little iPad mount for your fucking ride on, where you can be watching footy and things, and just watching stuff as you're driving about on it?
That is a fantastic idea. I don't know if there is a market for that yet.
Do ride on mowers come with Apple CarPlay?
No, mate. No, fuck me dead. Oh, the gearless farm would be a fucking glorious thing. Fucking drones spraying weeds and fucking.
Do you have like a little little 6-can esky on it?
No, it's got one
bar fridge sort of
one stubby holder.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Jay was right. It was a noisy fucking couch.
That's right. I love it. Just jot that down, will you? That's fucking gold.
All right. So look, it's early, but let's put this one down as a title, shall we?
Noisy couch.
We
haven't even started yet. It's fucking done.
I don't noisy couch. I don't think that we're going to see anything crazy than that, and I love getting the title away early, to be honest, because there's nothing worse than getting to the end and going, oh fuck, what's it going to be?
It's got PTSD from many years ago.
I'm like 11 o'clock at night. Like, what the? Listen to the episode again.
What fucking night did you used to record? Tuesday?
It's Tuesdays and Wednesdays mostly.
And I'd get a message the next day. This is in stint 1. What are we calling this fucking episode? I can't remember a single fucking thing we spoke about. I'm zero help.
Yeah, that's right. We get there in the end. This system of just writing down the second they happen, that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
All right, games. First one up. The Melbourne Storm 28 defeated the mighty Manly Seagulls 8 down there at the Korean Housewife again. And the Storm's 28 tries to Munster. Lewis Coates Bromwich, Meany 4 conversions. Manly tries to George Tafua in his last game of NRL. And Christian Tuipulotu, Garrick narrowly missing 2 sideline conversions. Let's go first.
That's all you, man.
Fuck all to
that's
say.
all you.
This fucking putrid fucking performance in a game that was there to be won, with the exception of like some brilliance from Cameron Munster, who had a tapering into Origin fucking game, to be sure. The Storm, by and large, were fucking hopeless. Like their attack was off. They just didn't look great. I mean, as the game went on, they started to look a bit better. I mean, when they sort of had more confidence, and I mean, the game was pretty much over as well. Then they started looking a little bit better. But when the game was there to be won, like that first sort of 50, 60 minutes of that game, they did not look great. And once again, invite them down with penalties, repeat sets, and you name it, fucking and that's they were gifted all their attacking opportunities. And although Manly defended like especially well in the first half, I thought it was because they were having 6 back-to-back fucking sets on their line against them, and they had to defend that way. But once again, just giving too many opportunities. And poor old George Tafua. I'm not going to say poor old George Tafua. Fucking, if you put your hand up,
yeah, you can't
to play footy.
It's on him.
It's absolutely on him. And I mean,
hang on. What's on him?
Just being
agreeing to be up for the NRL at this stage of his life.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's like the Russian soldiers. Like people say, well, the ones that don't want to be there. I mean, that's like so no, you fucking you signed up for this. This is what you signed up for, and if you're not fucking ready, if you're not ready for it, then look, and I mean, I understand we're currently in the midst of an injury crisis in the back line. Thankfully, that crisis is alleviated this week by one person, which is all it takes to get George Tafua back out of the side.
But there wasn't some cunt running around for Blacktown or fucking whoever the feeder side is. For
this is the thing. If it wasn't him, who was it?
It would have been Saab, but I mean, he was in the squad.
But he's injured.
He was in the squad though, so I'd say it was just he was in the 25 or whatever, but he must have just been not quite right to come back.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard he's definitely right for this week.
I don't think it's on George so much as he was picked there.
Well, we're after round 10 now though, and so you can use guys from outside. Yeah, you can use development players and things like that. And like, so I've been calling for like someone like Ray Vega who
but again,
played.
George didn't go around to fucking Desi's house and lock his wife in a car until Desi put him in the squad.
yeah, but I'm also saying
you're on fire.
I'm saying if you signed the contract, you show up to training and everything, be up to the fucking job, or if you're not, fucking retire. People retire before the end of their contracts when they realise they're not up to the job, but not this cunt, not this guy. And it was nice to see him get a try in his last game though. I mean, that was a nice little moment for him. But fuck me, he had he had a Morgan Harper of a game, and which is even funnier because Morgan Harper was there and didn't have a Morgan Harper of a game. Mm. So and he was on the same fucking field.
Yeah. It says a fair bit about Morgan Harper to the guy who hasn't played for 2 years, had a Morgan Harper of a game.
Yeah, like when he had such a Morgan Harper of a game that you forget that Morgan Harper was actually there and didn't Morgan Harper at all. So, I mean, perhaps Morgan Harper's, maybe he's starting to get on the road to being fixed and being less of a Morgan Harper. But, I mean, he's not quite a Brad Parker, but, he certainly wasn't a Morgan Harper. And that's basically the story. Once again, inviting team, especially a good team like the Storm, well, a good in quotes, I mean, like a nominally good team like the Storm, give them enough opportunities, and then the brilliant players like Cameron Munster will make things happen. And get his side the victory. I mean, three tries via the direct hand of George Tafua. 3 tries, the difference in the game. And look, it's not. And the refereeing had some fucking moments in the first half. Both of the Storm tries there, but it didn't. It doesn't fucking matter like that. This time it was not like fucking game costing. Although, despite that, I really wish. I think I spoke this about with Glennie about this on the membersode, but it drives me crazy in 2022 when we've got a sport that is cameraed out the arse and has a bunker that reviews thing. The arbitrary nature of things, like I get the forward pass thing, like why I can't rule on forward passes. That's totally fine. I mean, it's obvious to all three of us and everybody who watches at home when a pass is like legitimately, unquestionably forward.
Yep. That's
versus the line ball ones, but I don't care. I don't care that they don't rule on those. And maybe when they bring this gyro shit in there coming in the future, then perhaps that will change. But the notion that the black and white ruling that the bunker, because if they play the ball, the play goes on and they score a try. Once the ball is the referee's responsibility, and if anything happens in that play the ball. Because the referee didn't say anything at the time, you can't go and review it, even though that too is like, it's not like a forward pass, it's unambiguous. You can see exactly what's happened. And there were 2 occasions where Melbourne Storm players stood up and played the ball at fucking 90-degree angles to the ruck, and one of which led into a try. And the referee basically said, look, yeah, okay, I know, but the bunker's not allowed to rule on that. So tough shit. They can only rule on what happened after that infringement. And that was all fine, so I'm sorry, it's a try, even though, that sort of shit needs to be probably cleaned up in the sport in general. Just like that's an easily reviewable thing. Like, I'll concede the forward pass stuff until we can get a better scientific / physics, whatever fucking way of definitively ruling on forward passes.
Yeah, it's not like there's a fucking overhead camera at every fucking game that could get a bird's eye view of a pass and give a camera angle on whether a pass does or doesn't go forward out of the hands. That'd be fucking too far from me. I agree with you 100%. I think the bunker should be following 4 or 5 seconds behind the game.
Yep.
And if they see anything like that, they give the signal and they pull it back. They're fine to pull it back now when there's an incident with
if there's a high tackle, tackle in fucking 1973,
they'll pull it back.
They'll fucking come back and fucking put the guy on report for it. But
that again, how many fucking times have we been through this? It requires a complete cultural change in the way that referees behave and they're treated, and the referees need to be okay with the fact that they're going to miss shit.
Yep.
And that they're going to be corrected.
Yep.
Now there are some referees, and I actually reckon people like Jared Sutton would be okay with it. Like, he seems to be, cool, well, the bunker's seen this, and yep, no worries. There are other referees that you can see would have a clear fucking problem with somebody else correcting them.
Yeah.
And they're those ones that I think would very fucking quickly be weeded out of the game and improve the overall quality of the officials anyway. But what are the fucking chances we have on that?
0.
Yeah, exactly. But, very, very well-deserved win to the Storm, but they're by no means close to being back.
They're not. Do we get an honest appraisal from you on DCE's defensive prowess yet?
Oh, he had an unhappy game in general, I think. Wasn't very impressed with anything in his game, in this one.
But just the whole turnstile thing.
Yeah, it's not really a turnstile thing. I remember he had one situation there where he shot up too quickly, but I mean that was literally it.
Man,
for the entire game.
He's fucking Noffa 2.0.
Yeah, because I mean the Storm scored a couple of tries over on the right, a couple of tries on one through the middle.
No, I'm not talking
just
about this game. I'm talking every game.
Yeah, but statistics don't support that at all.
What? There's a statistic saying how many times do you not rush out of the line?
No, the statistics talking about tackle effectiveness and missed tackles and tackles made.
No. The fact that he rushes out and puts his outside man under pressure. There's not a statistic for that.
Well, I mean that doesn't happen. That's why they'd make a statistic for it if it happened. They'd write it down, but it doesn't happen. So, I mean they got monkeys that sit in the stand that literally just fucking just work with little hash marks on paper.
Baboons, if you will. Showing how red their asses are.
Okay, Liz Cambridge.
Oh, great heavens.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
okay.
Glenn, you'd crush it in WNBA, Glenny.
Phil, on the socials, he said, #century of DCE, as in he must have let in 100 tries by now. I'm hearing it more and more.
It's fairly carefully selected tweet, if I'm honest.
Let's to be very clear here. You're the only person that looks at the socials because I've got too much shit to do, and it's like the one small thing you can fucking contribute to the show apart from your voice every week.
Oof.
Like, if I was to fucking go,
shots
or Glenny, or if Glenny was to go through the fucking socials.
Glenny? Hang on. No, let's go back. And let's look for anything that's positive in that game.
No, what I'm saying is, people now will write comments to get the attaboy from you, because that's the only way to get read out on the show. That's just the way it is. People have adapted.
If you remember, I read there was one sole positive DCE comment a couple of weeks ago, and I made sure to read it out in the spirit of balance.
Yeah, I think you made sure to read it out in the spirit of you didn't have any other fucking comments to read out.
No, not at all. Jesus, it's like talking with a fucking Second Amendment lobbyist. This is not a mental health issue. It's guns, Nathan. It's guns.
And DCE is a fucking gun. Thank you.
Richard said George Tafua needs to have his own brand of condoms. George, for the man who doesn't want to catch a fucking thing. There you go. Mitch.
Full body raincoat.
He said there's an obvious reason for this shithouse game. Somewhere in the centre of the earth, the Looney Tunes have challenged a bunch of aliens to a game of rugby league. To compete, the aliens have stolen the talent from some of the Storm players. In retaliation, the Looney Tunes have kidnapped Payne Haas. Oh, and Manly are just plain bad at football. Rishi said Schuster hates Harper so much he just threw the ball straight into his head, and I'm here for it.
I'll tell you what, he's on my fucking list as well, that cunt.
Who's that?
Schuster.
Yeah.
Obviously a talented player.
Turned.
Yeah, you should see that. You should listen to me privately about fucking about my thoughts about some of these players. But Schuster, honestly, if the no look pass, if you pass it without looking every fucking time you pass it, it ceases to become like a gimmick or a trick play, and it's the only. And it's like if it's the only thing, it's not a trick.
Yeah.
You're not fooling anybody. That is no. Oh, he's looking straight forward. That means he's 100% definitely going to pass it.
And look, I normally try and avoid the visual jokes, but the good old porn stars meme was too good to be true. James, he said we wanted Pappy versus Turbo. And then it says, yeah, best I can do is Meanie versus Garrick. On to the next one.
Oh, when you said porn stars, I thought I instantly went the other way.
Your mind out of the fucking gutter, Nathan.
And I was like, was it the Piper Perry? Was it the Piper Perry couch or something like that?
PAWN.
Yeah. Right. The Panthers 22 defeat the Cowboys 0 at Penrith. The Panthers tries to Yo, Edwards, To'o, and Taylor and May. Cleary 2 conversions, Crichton 1 conversion. Cowboys. Buppo. We'll give that a D- on their test.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure it was a D-. Look, they'd been riding high. They'd taken some big scalps. They're the surprise of the season, and
flat track bullies.
Definitely the most improved team since last season. And let's remember they were without Felt and Tomalolo, who. Again, while not world beaters on their own, fucking JT's close to it on his best day, but they're a big component of that side and how they perform. But I think they got a taste of what the upper echelon of the competition are. They've come across Melbourne when Melbourne are in a rare form slump, and by rare I mean once in a decade form slump, but. Penrith just did exactly what Penrith do. They went out there with a game plan and didn't really care much who the opposition was or what the opposition did. They were just going to get in there and run through their sets and run their plays and kick for field position. And the Cowboys, similar to the Roosters, they went with them for a little while. But when you've got Isaiah Yeo opening the scoring so fucking early, godlike human that he is. Still being underrated. Then it was always going to be a long night for the Cows.
Glennie.
I felt like the Cowboys had positioned themselves as a genuine top 4 side, but if this is the gap between Penrith and potentially the 4th best team in the comp, it's pretty fucking scary. You'd be just as fucking well to give these cunts a trophy now and save us another 17 weeks of Jay's bullshit.
Well, that's all right. I mean, it becomes this season becomes absolutely a crushing all in bet for him though. Like they either win the premiership that they obviously had in their keeping after round one, or they suffer the greatest choke in the history of the game.
Not at all. They're trying to do something that's one of the hardest things to do in sport. Like,
literally,
who's
it's
repeated?
already been
Who's
done
repeated in the NRL era?
East. It was literally done in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's it. No. Once in the NRL era. When it happened in the NRL era, it doesn't matter. Over that course of time, it's happened once. And we all know how Easts get their fucking premierships. So I think we can say that it hasn't been done legitimately at all.
Wow.
So they're attempting to do
There's a lot
something.
of shots being fired today.
They're attempting to do
imagine
something that no other rugby league side has ever done in the history of the sport. Is legitimately,
like I said,
in the history of the sport.
Legitimately repeat.
Yeah.
Like how many child molesters did the Dragons have to get all their premierships?
Well, I don't think it was a matter.
I don't know if there's a statistic for that.
Like statistically, we
missed
know
tackles,
one, but
5 penalties, 8 pedophiles, 3.
well, statistically, we know the answer is at least one. But also they were playing against fucking butchers and shit, and Sparkies. I mean,
bakers and candlestick makers.
Oh God. But no, look, I wouldn't be too down on myself if I'm a Cowboys supporter.
No, I would. Not because they lost the game, because I'm a fucking Cowboys fan. It means I'm probably from North Queensland.
You know what they say, iron sharpens iron. And if you're going to win the competition, you have to go through the best teams. You have to do it. So why not play this game now, take it, and then know, okay, we've played them once, and they gave us a good dust-up, and then that showed us how far we have to go. It showed us where we have to build. And I don't think they disgraced themselves. I think it was just at such a pace that they couldn't keep up, and errors crept into the game. That's it. I'm fucking Dairy Queening on the Cowboys this year.
I was going to say, because iron sharpens iron, but I mean, also iron also splats fucking shit. and 22-0.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Ross, who I mentioned has always been such an astute student of the game. He said, "I wouldn't mind Edwards in the Origin side." Well, of course he wouldn't.
He's like the Mick Ennis of fucking listeners.
Agenda Ross, we'll call him.
Fucking germ.
Carsten. He said, "My butthole hurts already, so I go back into my hole and count Nazi gold. Hashtag fuck you, Jay." There you go.
Hashtag of the year
if they
To be
win.
fair, Carsten, sounds like Jay's fucking you.
Alistair. He said, "Anyone else completely sick of the Panthers and their shit haircuts? Refs enabling their absolute shit country, whilst the stadium of toothless fetal alcohol syndrome riddled housos are loving the show. They are literally the new Storms."
Ooh.
They're not unless it comes out, that they've been diddling the figures and all that sort of thing, and But look, half of what he said there was quite reasonable, I thought.
Which
shit,
half?
shit hair, well, 2/3. I mean, shit haircuts, absolutely. Like, I mean, I hate the newborn mullet culture of the NRL, and then it spills out into the fucking life, and you get like my nephew wanted to get a mullet and everything. I was like, look, you live in Armidale, but I mean, I'll still fucking drive down there and bash you if you get one. The second thing. The second point was about the fetal alcohol.
The referees allowing their shit country.
Yeah, look, no. I mean, the teams on top get the calls. That's the way it is. The thing about the housos, yes, spot on, and the new Storms. So 50%. Sorry, 50% of the things you said were true.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when the fucking bougie fuckheads like this Alistair guy,
Bougie,
are so fucking jealous that the housos get anything they don't have. This is fucking baby bonus 2.0.
Pay some, maybe Alistair should fucking fire up the robo debt.
That's it.
half the fucking attendance at Bluebet.
Go and fucking repossess some 70-inch plasmas sitting on cinder blocks in people's lounge rooms.
Oh, fuck, you guys are on fire tonight. I'm here for it.
Great part of the world.
Appreciate it.
Matthew said, has Isaiah Yeo reached underrated immortal status yet? He must be close. Yeah. When he's an immortal, he'll still be underrated.
The underrated. That should be his nickname. Yeah. The underrated.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's got to be like you got to do it like Panthers though. It's just underrated. It's like THUND.
Thunderated.
Actually, if you're doing it like Panthers, it's got to be FU, like Funderated.
Give me a U. Give me an N.
Oh fuck.
Give me a D and then an A.
Shock contender for fucking shock contender for episode titles.
He's like, what
Funderated.
What does it spell? And half the people are just like,
I don't know.
I didn't finish grade 8.
I can't hear you over my baby's crying because the fucking Jim Beam ran out of his bottle.
Tell ya.
Nathan, he said the Cowboys just not quite ready to match it with the good team in the comp. Matthew said score reflects the difference between these teams, but respect to the Cowboys, give them another 12 months to mature as a team. We could have a good rivalry brewing over the next few years. And Lachlan, he said, a question for you, Jay. Does this amazing form concern you? Similar to, I'm sure, Melbourne fans have felt in the past, that come finals, having faced easy wins all year, they've forgotten how to fight hard for a win.
I don't know that strikes me about Penrith.
Find out at the end of the year.
It doesn't worry me when it comes to the guys that were there in 2021. The guys that were there in 2021 understand what it's like to get to a grand final and fall short. And so if that happens this year from them, I don't think it will be from lack of trying, or I don't think it will be from them taking anything easy, because they had a much harder path to the premiership than they should have had in 2021. Look, there are some of these kids that have come in that may just take a little bit lightly, but I think as a group there's enough combined wisdom there that it won't be an issue.
Done?
Yep.
The Brisbane Broncos 35 defeat the Gold Coast Titans 24 at Suncorp Stadium. The Broncos 35 came through tries to Ricky, Cobbo, Tamari Martin, Farnworth, Capewell and Mam. Katoni Staggs, 5 conversions. Tyson Gamble with the disrespectful field goal. Titans tries to Jaden Campbell, Corey Thompson, AJ Brimson, David Fafita, and 4 conversions to Jermaine Osako.
I think the Broncos look good once again without Reynolds, which is one thing and something they'll take a lot of confidence out of. But I don't know that we'll see the true evidence of that confidence until he comes back and plays with these teammates that have built, the belief that it's not just all about him and what Reynolds brings to the team. So that's important for the Broncos as they develop. But there's a time, maybe not so much this season, but when the 6 again rule came in, there were times where sides would ride waves of 6 agains, and that would lead in, obviously, a mountain of possession and field position, and they'd ride that to a comeback win. I don't know that tells the story of this game. The Titans completely lost their way after going up.
They are absolutely
22 fucking nil.
Fucking disgusting.
Like, that second half was absolutely...
What you were saying about the Broncos really only encapsulated the last 20, 30 minutes. Sure, that's true. The first half, they were fucking disgraceful. And the Titans were great. They were lighting them up. They looked good. The Broncos looked like what people thought they were supposed to look like without Reynolds in the side. But my God, what a fucking implosion!
Yeah,
and again, like, it hurts when you lose your organizer. But
fair.
For the Titans are just a fucking dumb rugby league side.
But it's like, no, it's more than just dumb. Like, dumb is like when they went for that ill-advised short kickoff straight after the Broncos score, which enabled them to go back to back. That's dumb. But they're also like just
mentally fragile,
like mentally weak, like pussified, cowardly.
Wow.
fucking straight up bitch made.
This has been the Titans' DNA for a long time though.
Mm.
Like this was back before, like when Peachy was there, they'd be in games, and then
Peachy would make sure they were out of games.
Well, no, but there'd be 3 or 4 just moments of individual stupidity, you know, or just plain unlucky. You know, they'd go up to catch a bomb, and it'd bounce off someone's shoulder, fly off to somebody in the opposition that was standing 10 metres away from the contest, and then they just run upfield untouched. Like just dumb, unlucky shit like that. And to put yourself in a situation where you have 2 people sent off at the same time, the second infringement, it didn't even fucking do anything. They weren't under intense fucking pressure on the goal line.
But it was that bad that the ref didn't have a choice, though.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was, well, fuck, okay, now we're 12, we're 2 down, but we saved a certain try, you can almost rationalise that. Almost. But this was just, well, what did you actually get? You just slowed down a play of the ball that you were already set and waiting for, that was 3 metres from your line, and 10 in.
But also, it's important to note that when those sin binnings occurred, they actually fucking staunched up and covered the loss of those players brilliantly. That wasn't when they didn't fall off when they fucking lost their players. They survived that. Well, when they got back, they fell apart after.
Don't say they. Fafita did his fucking dummy half, you know, lone fucking universal soldier run.
Yeah, but be that as it may, though, they survived that period. The Broncos just destroyed them after they'd gotten back.
But it took too much out of them. That's what wrecked them. They did so much fucking work in that period that when it got to the last one, like that, it was the last or second to last try that the Broncos scored. There were no Titans chasing. Like there were just absolutely none. There were the 3 or 4 Broncos chasing the play, and the Titans just had nothing left.
I don't think that wasn't gas tank. I don't think that was. You could see those players watching the play, and they just assumed that the tackle was going to be made, and that miracle offload halfway off to the ground wasn't going to happen. They were basically. I think it was more like that guy's job. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I'm fucked, I can't get down there. It's just like, he's got it, so I can fucking cruise into the line again, you know?
There you go.
I will say, Tino, though, disappointing second half, absolutely.
Great first half.
Lit it up in the first half, which is what I took most from him was his comments after the game, where he took a lot of the onus for the loss as captain, and also for not continuing the level of his performance, which I think for a young bloke to have that level of accountability is quite rare, and it speaks to his leadership qualities, which is obviously why they've given him the captaincy. But
you'd be happy to hear that from your captain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. Terry, he said the Broncos jersey looks like casino carpet. Yes, it did. That was amazing. Shane, he said Titans fall apart so often the fucking team song should be Total Eclipse of the Heart. Levi.
Have you heard that one before, Glennie?
Sure have.
Cool, just checking.
Levi, he said Asako may as well get a scaffolding ticket and give up footy like the rest of my cuzzy bros here on the Gold Coast.
Oh, great heavens. It's fucking racist.
He's a Kiwi.
Sorry?
He's a Kiwi.
Yeah. Still
He's
racist.
the Kiwi you confuse other people for.
Yeah, well, he should have not have a name that fucking reminds me of other people's names. It's very difficult. It's difficult to keep up.
Yeah.
I understand, mate. It's not even close. I get it.
You can't call him racist. The white saviour thing is racist.
May need some scaffolding, surely.
Said that effort from the Titans has to be one of the dumbest second halves ever played, especially after that first half effort from Tino. Scott, this one's a bit sad. He said, I don't even have the energy to be mad at them anymore. I think they've given me footy depression.
Oh, fucking cry me a river, cunt. You made the finals last year. Shut the fuck up. Fuck me dead. You want to talk about footy depression? Fuck me dead. I got footy AIDS. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but like in the Magic Johnson sense, though, like it's never gonna actually kill you, and you're not gonna drop off.
How do you know? How the fuck do you know, Nathan?
In the streets of Glenadelphia. Righto, that's us. Next
Right.
game.
The Knights 24 defeat the Warriors 16 at Redcliffe. The Knights tries came through a double to TWiL. Tyson Frizzell, Edric Lee with tries. Clifford 4 conversions. And the Warriors tries through Pompey, Vialia and DWZ. 1 penalty goal to Reece Walsh. 1 conversion to Reece Walsh.
Anthony Milford taking a leading hand for the Knights in just his second game back after an extended layoff. Was fairly impressive, I thought. Had a hand in 3 tries and fairly controlled coming at the line. Starting to find his way, which is good signs for Newcastle. This was a much-needed win for the Knights, I thought. Just their second in 10 weeks or so. Easing some of the pressure on O'Brien. I don't know that it takes all the heat off him, and we'll see what happens with the Knights over the coming weeks. But they showed a bit of fight and a bit of grit and come back. The Warriors led 12-0, I think, at one stage, if I'm not mistaken. And the Knights come back and got them and, overcome injury to Saifidi. And so there was a bit for them to unpack, and they managed to scrape it together.
It's the ref in this game, and fuck, I don't even know what his name is, hits me as exactly one of those fuckers who would be resistant to a bunker chasing up his errors. And it happened both ways. So I don't think any side can say that they were dudded out of anything. But just simple, dumb shit. Like, there was one close to the end of the game when things were very, very tight where Sean Johnson's put a little grubber through and Milford has stuck his fucking foot out to kick the ball, to trap it, and it's bounced back and the Warriors have picked it up again, and there's no 6 again call.
Yep.
It is the absolute definition of played at.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But just no actual, just that's what I've ruled. So not a great display of footy, but not helped when the refereeing is of a poor quality as well. But yeah, what else do you say? It's a fucking broken record talking about Sean Johnson and the Warriors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here you've got one of the most experienced halves in the competition who continuously takes fifth tackle options that you would forgive a rookie for the first half of a season. After that, you start to hook them.
Yep.
It's funny how, Johnson going to the Sharks wasn't his effectively like the humbling moment, if you know what I mean, like Benji had in his career where he started to turn shit around and focus on game management at that back end of his career where, everyone in the media was lauding him for his game management. No one's saying that about Sean Johnson.
It's because Sean Johnson hasn't had that moment, though. Benji had the moment when he went to leave the Dragons and there was literally no one.
Yeah.
Literally no one. And then Wayne Bennett said, look, I'll give you a 1-year contract. I want you to come and help at training, and I want you to play at Origin time because I'm going to have people out. That's it.
I guess the Sharks still paid him fairly well to.
Yeah, the Sharks was the moment.
Arms.
The Sharks were the moment of when he was at the Warriors for his first stint. People were like, "Oh, how good would this guy be out of New Zealand and away from that side and drop him into a better side?" And so the Sharks coming off grand final win. He rocks over to them, in the aftermath of that era, and proceeds to do, just as nothing.
Yeah,
exactly. And again, in his defence, had a lot of injury time, which is disruptive. Never got a solid combination because his other halves partner had a lot of injury time.
Yep.
But
you can't just make excuses for a guy for his entire career.
No, just for that Sharks.
No, but I mean, he's always had injury issues. Even his first stint at the Warriors. He's never had a solid halves partner anywhere he's been until maybe now, and he's not playing any better.
Yeah, that's it. So, it's rough.
Glennie's written him off.
Fucking rough.
Sean Johnson, terrible player.
Done.
As were the comments in
Glenn
this
Blakely.
Retire.
He said, this is like watching 2 crews of SJs have a fist fight. Air swings, air kicks, people falling over, but no actual damage. Yeah. Dominic, he said, fuck me dead. Now I know what it's like being a Doggies and Tigers fan. How the fuck did you cunts do this all those years?
Resilience.
I like how he says it in the past tense, like they're not still doing it.
And Levi, he says, checks when Curran is back. Yes, you need him fucking fierce.
Right. The Rabbitohs 44 defeat the West Tigers 18 and at Accor, and the in a dark and dismal Accor stadium where they didn't pay the light bill and only turned half the cunts on. The Rabbits 44 tries to a hat trick to Alex Johnston, a double to Cody Walker, who I proposed that his nickname becomes the Ibis, because we were talking about in the members-ode, like how all these tries are just like the weird, like, you know, the ball just spills out from something, or a guy gets tackled and rolls the ball out the back. It's not an offload, or it bounces off someone and he picks it up and scoots over. So he's picking up the scraps the whole time. So
do
Cody
Ibises
Walker
do this weird thing where they like lay their egg and they mean to get it in their nest, but then another animal just comes along and intercepts it?
Well, I think they grab a hot chip so vigorously they fling it out and another Ibis grabs it over the way. But he got a double, and Havili, Graham, and Paulo with tries. Nicarima 3 conversions. Taffy with 3 conversions. The Tigers 18, a double to Kenny Marmalo, another try to Kapoa, 2 conversions to Brooksy, 1 penalty goal to Brooksy, and I feel like we've just spoken about this game, Glennie. But off you go again.
Yeah, I think. We have spoken about it at length. Doesn't make any more fucking sense. The Tigers were in control in the first half and went into the break with a lead. I think what started to turn the game for the Rabbitohs was when, and we spoke about it during the members-ode, was when Havili and Sele come on and they just started making ridiculous meters through the middle. And the Tigers were struggling to recover, and that gave the Rabbitohs an ascendancy around the ruck that the Tigers couldn't cope with. And, Walker, for all his critics and faults, he was good enough to play behind that. Murray on the edges as well. The Tigers just fell apart in the end and couldn't cope with it and played, as I've said before, they have a knack of playing any player as an individual or any team back into form, no matter how bad their slump might be. And I think the Rabbitohs have been off their game for a little while now, and towards the back end of this game, the ball was singing, and they, I wouldn't say they looked quite like last year's Rabbitohs, but they looked like their attack was starting to find a gear that we haven't really seen just in recent times. So disappointing from the Tigers, and I think I expected that second half to be much better, and they really unravelled at a rapid rate of knots and couldn't stem the tide of points that the Rabbitohs are throwing on.
That's it.
The Rabbitohs also, like, they also shored up that one defensive weakness that they had there, where the Tigers could just get it out, get it left out onto the Rabbitohs' right hand side, and they had hit pay dirt twice out there, but then the Rabbitohs started shooting up and cutting it off, and they never really got back to that again.
Yeah.
Especially it didn't even look like getting it out to Kenny in the second half. And like you said, and shout out to me, the super coach, who was absolutely blasting Campbell Graham for having a Barry fucking Crocker of a game, and eventually
he even went so far as to call him Bjorn Borg at one stage.
Bjorn Borg, and so shout out to the patron who must have overheard me berating him, got word and he lifted massively, scored a try, and played great in the closing stages of the game. Really turned that shit around quick.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
Show me the money, Campbell. So, and everything else you said is exactly what happened. And once they got the ascendancy through the middle and just started... I mean, I remember the Tigers had that one set where they were attacking and they... the set ended for whatever reason, sort of down, in the right-hand corner. And Souths got the ball on that set and they went the length of the fucking field and scored on the very next set, and it was just through these 20-metre runs straight up the guts.
Yeah, that's it. Brendan, you said Alex Johnson brought to you by the Dairy Queen. What a fucking monumentous occasion for him. Huh?
Leading try scorer in South history?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in their storied, 12, 15-year career at that club?
20. They're blasting through their 20. Well, when did they come back? I can't even remember.
I don't know. Who knows? Who cares?
Too fucking early if you ask me.
That's it. Sam said ref's fault. Sam's ref's faulting on this one.
Wow.
What?
There you go.
How?
On what basis?
I don't know. He's just said ref's fault. Sam, fill us in. Give us the criteria for which you believe you have been ref's faulted. And Matthew said first half, Bunnies in decline. Second half, Tigers had hold my beer. They certainly fucking did. No one out declines the Tigers.
Nobody.
That's us.
Roosters 36 to feed the Sharks 16 at PointsBet. The Roosters 36, a double to Daniel Tupou, and probably cementing his origin position with that performance. Butcher, Tedesco, Jared Ria-Hargraves, Manu and Watson all tries. Walker 4 conversions, and the Sharks 16 came through tries to the Mutt, and Sione Katoa, Cameron McInnes, and Nico 2 of 3 conversions.
I thought this game was a bit of a small version of what the Roosters have shown us this year so far, and you've mentioned it, Nate, a few times, that they're tough to get a read on. And, it was clinical from them to, they led 24-0, and then just a real drop away from what they were doing and let the Sharks back into the contest at 24-16, with the Sharks then mounting another attacking raid and look to have found some space on their left-hand side. Pass goes to ground. Joey Mano picks it up, and ultimately that seals the win for the Roosters. But no way should Cronulla have ever got that close to the Roosters the way they were playing. And in years gone by, the Roosters go on with the job no matter who they're playing and put them to the sword. But they just dropped away very, very quickly, and the Sharks come back and we're closer than what the scoreline might indicate to getting them.
Yeah, that's it. Although I think they're doing it down on troops, as opposed to what they would normally do. So they're used to going in there and going on with the job with outrageous talent that should go on with the job. I think they're learning to do more with less. But yeah, you're right. It was an un-Rooster-like performance.
I don't know if you'll agree with this take, and I've saw a mention in the media which I probably tend to agree with, but you'd have to look at the Roosters now and say, if you look at their spine, that they're short of 9, right?
Yeah, and which is why they bought Brandon Smith next year.
That's my point. Is Brandon Smith that guy? He's a competitor. He's but does he bring that missing link to the Roosters' attack? I don't think he does.
Oh, he's a quality 9. He can run the ball. He gives good service. I mean, what else do they fucking want?
I don't think he runs the ball from dummy half as well as what they might need.
Yeah, okay. You got to remember, we fall into this trap with rugby league all the time. And stuff like the Reynolds situation blinds us a bit to it. It's that one player is going to come here and make a massive difference, right? So, yeah, Adam Reynolds has come to Brisbane and they've improved. But then you look at it, and without Adam Reynolds, they've still improved. And Adam Reynolds leaving has had such a detriment to other players in the Bunnies. Then you look at the last time that a Roosters hooker was in the news, and we've spoken about this before. Like Jake Friend was he was one of those guys that everyone was like, fuck, he's gone on a couple of years too far. Poor guy. Was always in Cameron Smith's shadow. Never got his shot. Was sort of nearly good enough, but not really. Good on him. Great club man. That's it. Cooper Cronk transformed him. So your hooker is only as good as the halves they work with and the partnership they have there. So I think Brandon Smith's success there and the success of the trade or the acquisition, I should say, is going to come down to how well he works with those halves. Because he works really well with the Munster and Hughes combo.
Sure.
So we'll just need to see if it's as effective in the Roosters.
Fair.
Socials on this one. Troy. He said, not surprised Cronulla would struggle to get motivated for Indigenous round. There it is. Jason. He said, the Sharks putting up a bigger fight in Sydney than their number 1 ticket holder did last week. And Richard. He said the Roosters looked the best they have looked all season in the first half. Better than their first half in Magic Round. Passes were sticking, players were working together, pushing up in support, running angles to caught defenders out and creating space. Suaalii gets better every week. Keary seems to be gaining confidence that just wasn't there earlier in the season. There's a level or two below the Storm and the Panthers, but they're vastly improved from the side that shat the bed against the Knights, Dragons and Bulldogs. There you go.
Fair assessment.
I don't think they're the level below Penrith.
Probably the thing is they're gonna have to do this sort of game a lot more, because that's the reason why they're so hard to get a read on this year. I mean, they'll do this game like this last weekend, and then next week they'll go and lose to a shocking team.
And again, Cronulla's been doing this as well. Cronulla's come out and had like great game, shit game, great game, shit game.
Yep.
So really, what does this game tell us? Nothing.
Yep.
Send them to Perth.
All right. The Dragons 34 defeated the Bulldogs 24 at Belmore. The Dragons 34 came through tries to Moga, Lomax, Fiai, Hunt, McCulloch, and Blake Laurie with his first try in game number 91. Lomax 5 conversions. The Bulldogs 24 tries, double to Avarillo. Flanagan and Shoup with tries, Burton 3 conversions and a penalty goal, and that is it. First thing I want to say is like Blake Laurie. See, that's a first try narrative that I can get around.
Yeah,
he hasn't been fucking. He doesn't have fucking commentators who've lost their mojo fucking mouthing up before every fucking game that this is the end of the game. He gets his first try. He just goes under the radar. And gets it done. And fucking didn't he love it? And didn't the boys get around it?
Didn't they?
When he scored the try, they loved it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And he's a pretty funny guy too, that Blake Laurie. When you see him,
he's a character.
He's a character. So yeah, good on him. I hope, and in a related story, I hope TWiL never gets a try.
Jesus fucking cross, that's harsh.
Jay doesn't want him to get one either. That's not just me. It's
No,
the rugby
fuck
league
him.
connoisseurs.
Jesus. Wow. He's firing shots all over the place, you two.
Look,
It's terrible.
you can keep drinking. You can keep drinking your fucking pure blondes and wishing Alex TWiL got tries. We'll be
Why
over
am I
here.
drinking pure blonde?
I don't know. I was just thinking shit alcohol.
Why am I drinking
meth.
any beer at all?
I could change it to methyl if you
Yeah,
prefer.
that's more appropriate and more likely.
No, sorry, go on. Seriously.
Ben Hunt, once again, in everything good the Dragons did. I thought he had another solid game. Has been rewarded with an Origin jersey. Bulldogs got themselves into the contest twice, only to let themselves out of the contest on 3 times with soft goal line defence. The Laurie try, the McCulloch try was fucking atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
At one stage, I can't remember who it was, but
And the Laurie try was pretty much a carbon copy of the McCulloch try.
But the commentator said, "Oh, McCulloch too quick." Those words have never been uttered before,
Ever.
Not in any context.
So-
Not even his missus has said that.
Oh, maybe
she
the
has.
captain of the Titanic said that to the iceberg.
But if
Are you saying
McCulloch's
Andrew
too
McCulloch
quick-
was the iceberg? Is that, like,
That's it.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's old as shit. Like,
Yeah, that's true. If McCulloch was too quick, I want to know what the fuck those players that he was too quick for, what they're doing with their lives. Because rugby league ain't it for them. I was like, that is fucking woeful. And the Bulldogs, 2 weeks removed from having their coach shown the door, I don't know that, they were competitive in patches in this game, but ultimately it's another loss. And you wouldn't say they've rebounded to a point, like, obviously, the stories of Trent being a player's coach and, the uproar from the playing group and fucking the Naden situation, the Vaughan story and all the rest of it. There's some truth to it. I don't know if the Bulldogs are getting any better at all this year.
no, the thing that I noticed though, I mean, when the game was there to be won, I mean, the Bulldogs were most definitely. They definitely wanted it, and they were definitely putting in, and like they're busting their gut to try and get across the line. They're just not good. They didn't have a plan, the ball died with Flanagan every time he got the ball. Like, it just seemed like their attack died. And how many times did he sort of go one way, look for a guy, turn around the other way, and before he could do anything, he just gets swamped?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he dived with the ball so many times.
Yep.
I want to give
whereas they could just sling it.
I want to give a shout out rather to the crowd at Belmore. It was the back to Belmore game, and 17,000 people. But when the Bulldogs were starting to score those tries and started to look like they might have been in with a chance of snagging a win, the noise in the crowd was made for a good atmosphere watching it on TV.
Yep. Quality suburban ground atmosphere.
Avarillo, 2 tries in the centres. I've wanted to say for every week since we've been recording, since I've come back, that he has no business being in the halves or in the centres, and I don't actually know where he should be in an NRL side. But 2 tries in the centres, what the fuck do I know?
One of my completely non-guilty pleasures is during Doggies games monitoring what the Dogs fan base is saying about Avarillo, and fuck me, they went on a journey with him this this round. I mean, like, they wanted him dead, out of the team, and then all of a sudden he's a god, and then he's back to shit again.
Yeah, wow.
Jesus, there you go. Socials on this one. Jeez, did anyone have anything good to say?
I doubt it.
Ash.
Doggies fans lamenting.
He said the Dragons didn't need video for this week's strategy session. They just know run it at good old turnstile Dufty. Yeah, that's about it. Lando. He said that was a hard watch. I'm happy the Dragons got the 2 points, but realistically, I don't think anyone deserved to win that game. The fact that after 91 games, Blake Laurie scored a try says everything there is to say about the standard of football this afternoon.
Oof.
And Jason said another week, another loss. The only positive I see is that we have scored more points on average under Potter than we did under Barrett. Apart from that, not much else has changed. Dodgy goal line defence, unable to apply or sustain pressure for any length of time, giving away a lot of 60 games or penalties. At the start of the season, I was hoping the Dogs could finish as high as 12th, build on this season into next, but alas, this season seems to be a copy of the previous 2, despite an improved playing roster.
And increased expenditure.
That's it.
On playing talent. Okay, last one. The Eels 28 defeated the Raiders 20 in Canberra. The Eels 28 tries to Penasini, a double Dylan Brown, double to Bailey Simonson, Moses 4 conversions. The Raiders 20, double to Sebastian Chris. Whitehead with the other try, 3 conversions to Fogarty making his debut and a penalty goal.
Gutho with another glaring error at the back for the Eels. I think he's done more to cement his myth status this season so far than any other year of his career, including where he played Origin a couple of years ago. But I want to talk about Dylan Brown. I thought he had a great game and scored a couple of tries and outstanding running 6. And you look at the way he played and you wonder how is it that Arthur ever thought that dropping Dylan Brown out of the 6 jersey even for a week was in the best interest of the team, let alone in favour of his son. It's fucking gross.
It comes down to the fact that he assessed that they were out of centres at the club, and so he just looked at the players he had and he thought, oh fucking, we've got Sonny Jim. He can only play half, so we can put him in there, and then Brown's a great, like you said, great running half. Could he handle the centres? Probably. It's only a week. Fucking, this is the way we got to go.
Yeah.
And look, obviously it backfired spectacularly, but could he not have thrown a back rower into centres or something? Yeah, maybe. But yeah.
To their credit, I thought the Raiders stuck with Parra for much of this game. I do feel like Parra were probably a bit loose in patches, which made Canberra look a little bit better than what they really are, and Parra probably had a gear left in them, but the Raiders, I think they matched it with them for a large portion of the game.
Yep.
Nice. Oh my God, why is my phone choosing now? It's fading. Fucking Ricky Stewart's charged my phone.
It's fucking gone greyer than Mike Stevenson's hair.
He said 5 metres out from the Eels line. Most playmakers would attempt a nicely weighted grubber for a repeat set. Jack Whiten, 40-20 attempt. Nick, he said Wagner is passing the ball. Signs are good. He didn't have a terrible game, actually. I thought he was very good. Jake, as a Raiders fan, we may have lost, but I'm still happy with the effort, not looking like they faded out of this one. Having Corey Horsburgh is basically starting 6 points down. Still pleased to see King Nutho drop the ball and do nothing else all day.
That's quite great when he dropped the ball for that try.
That was fantastic. And that's it.
I'll tell you what though. So this is sorry, Raiders fans. They're off Corey.
Wow.
Well, that one is.
Yeah, right.
But
Well,
I would
like I consider him to be a senator or official representative of the Raiders fan base. I mean, given he does a Raiders podcast.
Yep.
So I'm going to say that he's got his finger on the pulse, and they're off Horsburgh. So soon it'll be them that get pointed at through rageful, teary fucking Rango eyes. Right. So that is it. That is it for episode 467. Thanks for listening. As always, if you want to support the show, feel free to become a patron at patreon.com/TWiL Nation. Additional content, gifts dropping twice yearly for the higher tiers, and I'm just trying to now my browser, why'd you do that, you stupid bitch? Just looking up the tipping to see how we're going there, and see who's on top of the ladder at the moment. Now, okay, Barrett to Belmore on top. It's the only way. This is the only place in the world you could see that combination of words together and actually be correct. Cooked Tip in second place. Then we've got Strive Possum Agency in third. Cows to Win 22. Alpha Ben RL, Mitch Rich, Reynolds Raging Roana, and Kerem, Kiwi Villa, and McTool 75 rounding out the top 10, and a little bit of break happening at the top couple of players. Do you fellas have anything else you want to add? Oh, I got the replenishment email for. We're holding off on the polo shirts for the supporters packs this year because the polo shirts that we like to use were out of stock for almost every size and due to come back on May 16. I got the email over the weekend, so that I put a thing in there to say notify me when they're back, and they're back now. So now we can go forward with them. So I'll put those up for order. And as I said earlier, when these supporters packs do go up online, you'll have to move quickly because there's one of the items in the packs it's already been produced. We've got a certain number left, and that's how many packs we're going to make as an absolute maximum. So first in, first serve, and get in there. That's all I've got. Anything, Glennie?
No, that's it. All done and dusted.
In that case, we will be back on Wednesday to talk round 13 and State of Origin.
Fantastic. Can't wait.
Fucking tell you what, I can't wait to talk about all the Tigers players participating in State of Origin. You can't better look out.
Yeah, you get you don't get to support. You get go into Origin, but you do get to go into the illegitimate joy rounds.
That's
so
it.
You win and you lose. But it all balances out in the end. Righto, later, boys.
All right, see ya.
Nice. See ya.